And welcome back to Let's Play The Elder Scrolls Online, episode 16. Anyways, his best left unsaid for once. Ono, who favored the short sword, said it, and that night he was smothered by Maz. It is famous, though, that the two talked to each other as family, with Moras as a lesser. Fenrir loved him and called him nephew. There are many fancies of mortals. Never did Polino counsel Moras in time of war, for the man bull fought magnificently. Had been well, never resorted to madness, but the White Strike did warn against the growing love with Perif. We add him more and change things through love. We must take care lest we beget more monsters on this earth. But he says she'll take you, and you'll transfer Syria if you do this. The bull became shy. He was a bull, and he felt his form too ugly for the Peravinian all times, when she disrobed for him. He snorted, though, and shook his nose hoop in the light of the second moon, and said, "Like the shine on my nose hoop here." Accents on whenever I move my head at night, she's there. So you know what you ask is impossible. A flaming chicken. Oh look, that's not the way to go again.
Important business back in Vardenfell. I can't be late. I need to leave.
Forward, it cries. Forward to the fruits of cheap ambition. Forward to the promise of everlasting kingdoms.
Will you stop mocking me?
Am I even able to leave? Everything is still.
You're Lord Fear's newest steward, huh? Could we talk later? If I don't finish this lamp inventory, Gascon will feed me to the fabricants.
Lamp inventory?
Yeah, Gascon must know how much I love doing paperwork. A few days ago, Sothe the Seal ordered us to rip out all the lamps in here and replace them with less efficient ones. What kind of sense does that make? Who wants weaker lamps?
Doing the old lamps.
A bunch of factotums loaded them onto a dolly and dumped them somewhere in the mechanical fundament. Hey, I know that look. If you're looking to poach a free lamp, don't bother. Gascon made us slag them all. And that's not even the worst part.
What's the worst part?
Half the old switches don't work with the new lamp, so we've had to manufacture new switches, and half the time the switches get installed backwards, which means we have to do it all over again. Even the factotums don't know what they're doing.
That sounds frustrating, but...
And don't even get me started on the lamp assembly. Sothe the Seal could have turned the fabricators to make the new lamps with a flick of his finger, but he demanded that we do it instead. Do you have any idea how complex the fabricators are?
I don't, but I really have to go. Good luck. So he's doing things that doesn't make sense.
So you're the one Devaith tapped to be his aide in the Brass Fortress. Sorry to hear that. Provost Varuni's ancestors hail from House Telvanni, just like Lord Fear. But honestly, they couldn't be more different.
What's it like working for Provost Varuni?
Not as bad as you might expect. She's young, youth comes with impatience, but I've never felt unfairly judged, and she's generous with her praise. Honestly, if I had the choice between serving Varuni or Sothe the Seal, I'd take Varuni every time.
This Seal's difficult to work for?
Now more than ever. I don't pretend to understand his motives, but he's never been so demanding. One example? He insists that we turn all the lights down before he enters a room. Do you have any idea how difficult that is? It's maddening.
The switch is that different?
Huh. Flipping switches. That's rich. Each lamp has its own switch, and some lamps have multiple switches. And if that isn't bad enough, some switches control multiple lamps. He's a god, I know, but it shouldn't take a genius to turn on the lights.
That sounds frustrating.
Don't even get me started. Varuni might demand some obscure tome in the middle of the night or chide someone for leaving oil on the floor, but that's the worst of it. Sothe the Seal exiled an auxiliary last week because she forgot to switch off a lamp.
I don't know all that. I should get going.
Right. Don't let me keep you. I can't imagine how demanding Devaith Fear must be. Better you than me, that's for sure. Keep your nose to the cogs and you'll be fine. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm off to flip 24 switches again.
Bye.
So you're de Vaythir's new auxiliary, eh? Tough luck, friend. I've heard he's an insufferable bastard, but at least he's not Sotha Seal. Better to be turned into a Gore than to serve the clockwork god.
Like we're working for Sotha Seal?
Not anymore. In the old days, sure. He was easy to please because he was never around. These days, he changes his mind about something every night. Constant meetings, new dictums daily, adjustments to factotum patrols. It's a nightmare.
You sure he hasn't always been this way? You said he was never around?
Trust me, this is unprecedented. I'm afraid something's wrong with his enhancements. Like he's having trouble regulating. He's a different person, I swear. Don't tell anyone I said this, especially Gascon. Blasphemy doesn't go over well nowadays.
Blasphemy?
Yes. Speaking ill of a god never turns out well. In the old days, he'd take it in stride. Commit your small blasphemies, he'd say. The fire of doubt turns ignorance to steam. But not anymore. This place is becoming more like Mournhold every day.
Hey there, I should get going.
Right. I'm sure you have plenty of work to do for Lord Fear. He's back a few days and already burying you in paperwork, no doubt. Take care of yourself, friend.
Bye. What are you tank in this game? Okay. Is it still the whole aggro and enemy system?
Were you treated well by the menials? I assume they battered you with complaints. What have you learned?
Silsil's definitely behaving strangely. He's made a lot of odd demands.
Yes, well, I could have told you that. That's why I sent you here, after all. What kinds of demands? Be specific.
He makes the servants, Dr. Renzi before he enters and demanded that some lamps be replaced.
The lamps in the locutorium, yes? The large assembly room over there? The auxiliaries and factotums have been laboring in there day and night ever since we arrived. Curious. What could lights have to do with this? Well, there's only one.
That's a good point.
Out.
Because that's why you're the Grand Mage. I'll expose him to the light.
Impressive. I assumed I'd have to explain it to you. Of course, this requires a functional lamp. I assume he ordered them destroyed. Speak to that high elf of yours, Neramo. The dark elf as well. We need one of these lamps, repaired and operable.
Alright, I'll go find Neramo and Raynor.
I have important business back in Vardenfell. I can't be late. I need to leave.
Forward, it cries. Forward to the fruits of cheap ambition. Forward to the promise of everlasting kingdom.
He was so loud. Jeez.
I just don't know. I always expected Clockwork City to be a bit more hospitable.
We need not the grease of luxury to find our sequence here.
Still, you never tire of it? The smell of oil or the taste of gruel?
Your mind must become a gear, a single constant winding in perfect regulation. Do not let such thoughts rust your mind.
That's true, I suppose. No use crying over spilt milk. Milk.
I hope to see you again, Assistant. Pray tell, what did de Zyphreium have to say? I fear that he and I might have gotten off to a poor start. Did he ask about me? Any mention of my many exploits?
I was once you and Raynor to help me with an important task.
Raynor? Surely this is something I can handle myself. Impressing de Zyphreium could greatly increase my standing in the Dwemerich scholarly community. Tell me, what does Lord Fear ask of me? Us?
I want to build a lamp, the one that's identical to the last removed from the Loquetium.
He just wants us to build a lamp? What an odd request. No matter. I would be happy to offer my ample expertise, provided you let de Zyphreium know that I did so.
Try healing, maybe?
First things first. I need to study one of the lamps we're supposed to recreate.
And A told me they tossed the lamps in the fundament. We should start there. What? Oh. Aren't these lamps? I guess not. Lamp tube.
Some kind of tubular housing. Probably meant to protect a glass interior? Difficult to say.
Handpiece. Flower filaments.
A complex filament of some kind. The weaving on this fiber, it must be machine-made. I should be taking notes.
Cracked compressor.
Some kind of compressor. For funneling a gas, perhaps? Interesting.
Julia.
Look at the apertures on this. It must be some kind of modulator that changes the nature of the light. Fascinating.
And you know what? Probably damages Daedra connections or whatever or something. Oh, that's what I was about to say. Oh.
Compressors, filaments, housings, modulators. Yes! I think I understand what these discarded lights have in common.
I'm listening.
Unlike the other lamps, these compress some kind of geodic gas into metal tubes, then modulate the light to create another kind of illumination that mortal eyes cannot see. Invisible light! remarkable.
See,
The potential applications are limitless.
so you mean infrared or ultralight? Ultraviolet. So can you recreate one of these lights?
Yes. With Rayna's assistance, I believe we can recreate this lamp without much difficulty. Of course, you'll need to procure the requisite parts. These are all broken beyond
It's gonna show a
repair.
shadow.
What do you plan to do with this light, exactly?
He's on the sill. I'm not exactly sure what would happen.
You plan to do what? Oh dear. Well, this seems like a terrible idea, but I shall rely upon you and Lord Fear to protect me. Here's a list of the components I'll need. Once you've acquired them, meet me in the Hall of Refined Techniques. Good luck.
You too. Let's forget this. Letters are closer. Yeah, I've never used it either, but doesn't sound like it though. I mean, it does sound like, yeah, if you try and say hear it out loud. Yeah, and then huh? Yeah. So much for that. Ooh. I mean, more for the maple staff.
Combat permissions registered and logged.
Just barely. Ooh. Okay. Dark, don't need more stamina thing. Dear Lord. I'll read this next time. Let's open. Enjoy the city, you know what to do. See ya.